All right, so good morning, everyone. This is the detention docket for the 323rd District Court. We are here on Zoom because of the Texas Supreme Court Emergency Order number 25. That requires us to not do in-person proceedings unless necessary and not feasible to do remotely. And we're doing this remotely through Zoom. And in order to comply with the Texas Open Courts Act, Article 1, Section 13 of the Texas Constitution, we are broadcasting these proceedings online since the court must close to the public. That way the public can observe the proceedings in court. No portion of this proceeding may be recorded, copied, or broadcast. Any violation of this order is punishable by contempt of up to 6 months in jail and a $5,000 fine. And again, this is still a court proceeding, so I do expect everyone to exhibit appropriate courtroom behavior. The Supreme Court has authorized the court to fine people in contempt for breaching the decorum of Zoom, oddly enough. All right, so we'll go as we have Altamirano, which was waived. We have Anthony Chestnut. All right, hello, Mr. Chestnut. Is there somebody from security control over there with Mr. Chestnut?
Yes, sir.
Hello, sir. Good morning. I'm just going to I'm changing the docket a little bit. We're going to switch the last two kids and we'll do more before Wyatt. Okay, if you can just pass that on. That's going to be, that'll be the end of the docket.
Okay, so Mr. Moore will be next to last and Ms. Bott will be last?
Correct.
Okay.
Thank you, sir. All right, Mr. Chestnut, I'm Judge Kim. This is a detention hearing. The law says when a child's brought to our facility, you have to see a judge within 2 days and I have to decide whether to keep you here or to release you. If I keep you here, the law says you have to see a judge every 10 days while you're here. You do have a right to remain silent. You have a right to an attorney. If you cannot afford an attorney, I'll provide one for you. Ms. Taylor has been appointed as your attorney. Ms. Taylor, can you introduce yourself, please?
Yes, Your Honor. Good morning. Good morning, Mr. Chestnut. I'm Candace Taylor.
All right, Mr. Chestnut, so now you should be able to see who your attorney is. She's here for advice if you need it. All right, so Mr. Chestnut, you have never been here before. You're 16 years old.
Yes, sir.
Let's see, you're brought in detention on September 25th from JPS Hospital for a warrant. You're saying that on September 17th, police were dispatched for domestic. Your father said that you would not get out of bed, so he poured water on you. This upset you, and you lunged at your father, went to the kitchen, grabbed a knife, and swung it at your father, trying to cut him. And the report says somehow you were injured and taken to JPS, so you were there. Let's see. All right, so is Dad here?
Yes, sir.
Hello, Dad. Okay, so I got some questions for you. Why was he at JPS for so long?
Because he got a psych eval.
I'm sorry, a psych eval. Okay, great. Was he diagnosed with anything?
Was he diagnosed with anything? I don't know.
No. Hi, Your Honor. I'm Mom.
Hello, Mom. Are y'all still together?
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. So tell me about Anthony's behavior lately. Is this just a one-off incident or is this kind of escalating behavior?
So, Your Honor, I don't know if you recall or not, but you and I spoke back in February. Previously, Anthony was in a joint conservatorship. We were in a joint conservatorship with the state. He was in an RTC, Devereaux, just outside of Houston for over a year. And in February, they were pressing to release him they had transferred him. So we all decided with CPS to give Anthony a second chance to come home. And we've had a lot of issues since he's been home in the last 8 months with drug abuse, running off, breaking curfew.
What kind of drugs?
Marijuana and
Acid.
acid.
Okay. All right. So why did he go to RTC then?
Because he had extreme behavior before, where he was violent towards my Nathan, his dad, and myself, and also just complete disregard for our rules in our home, and we have small children in our home. So we're concerned for their safety as well. He let some druggies into our home that robbed us. And so some things like that were just very concerning, as well as him running off to Seattle for a week at 14. Just concern for his safety and concern for our safety as well. And so the last 8 months have been pretty rough with him.
So Mom, I'm going to apologize for interrupting. So I guess, was he actually diagnosed at JPS, or was he just kept there?
No, he was just kept there. His diagnoses were received previously.
Okay, what's he diagnosed with?
He has, he's diagnosed with ADHD, obstinate defiance disorder, mood disorder, dysregulation disorder, and substance abuse.
Okay, and so is he receiving medication for any of those?
Well, they took him off of medication before they sent him home in February, which we didn't understand. And then of course, COVID happened. So it was almost impossible for us to get in to see a doctor. And so they did put him back on medication.
When's the last time you saw a doctor?
At JPS.
Okay, this last trip to JPS?
Yes.
Okay, but then I guess my question is, I asked if they evaluated him or it was just observation. You said there was observation. So was he diagnosed and prescribed medication this last time at JPS?
Yes, they did. They did a preliminary evaluation, and then based off of that and his previous diagnoses, they put him on medication.
Okay, so he does have his medication right now then?
Yes.
Mr. Kroll?
Yes, sir.
Okay, so we do have his medications that came with him from JPS?
I don't have them listed in the system, sir. So I would have to call the clinic and see what's going on with that. I mean, if he came straight from JPS, we would have brought his meds and locked them in, not having them on record.
All right, this is what I want to do. All right, Anthony, I'm going to go ahead and detain you. I'm concerned about the safety of you and the community. All right, so I'm also going to watch that you are, what your behaviors are like. I'm going to let you know if you're not a level 1 outstanding back here, I'm not going to let you go. All right, prove to me that you can behave while you're here. This is not an RTC. It's not going to be like an RTC. Anyway, so Mr. Kroll, if you can follow up and see if there's a prescription. If there is a prescription, of course, Anthony, if you don't take your medication, you cannot get to level 1.0. You have to take your medication for your behavior to be at level 1 outstanding. Mr. Kroll, if we do not have medications, please let me know and I'll order a psychiatric evaluation. But I don't want to order one if you just saw a doctor last week and he has this prescription. All right?
Yes, sir.
All right, thank you. All right, Keandre Henderson.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Thank you.
Was that my probation officer?
All right, Mr. Henderson, I'm Judge Kim. This is a detention hearing. The law says when a child's brought to our facility, you have to see a judge within 2 days and have to decide whether to keep you or release you. If I keep you here, you have to see a judge every 10 days. You do have a right to remain silent. You have a right to an attorney. Right now, for the time being, we're appointing Ms. Hamrick as your attorney. Ms. Hamrick, can you introduce yourself, please? Okay, she's not here. So Ms. Herrick, she is covering for Ms. Hamrick today. Ms. Herrick, can you introduce yourself, please?
Hi.
All right, Mr. Henderson, did you see Ms. Herrick speak to you?
Yes, sir.
Okay, good. All right, so let's go ahead. All right, so Mr. Henderson, you are 17 years old.
Mm-hmm.
You're currently on probation until the end of October for a misdemeanor assault on a bodily injury. And so, well, let's see, back in July, you were found delinquent. You were ordered on probation to give me a service. That's July of last year, 19. In January, there was a motion to modify your probation. And so you made an agreement for extend your probation for 3 months and successfully complete the Care House program. In June, you started staying with your grandmother in Dallas County.
Yes.
In August, Mom and Grandma said that you were staying half the time with Mom in Euless and half the time with Grandma in Dallas.
Yes.
And in September,
On weekends, I was
you were not available for scheduled virtual contact. Grandma said you had not been there for a couple of days. In does not want to be with grandma. We tried to contact you by phone. There was no answer. We left a message to return the call. The next day, mom said that neither her nor her mother knew where Keandrick was. She said, you're not answering calls or text. And we told her to report you as a runaway. And then the officer tried to contact you by phone, went to voicemail, left a voicemail. And so on the 24th, you texted the probation officer saying your phone was off and you can only use Wi-Fi when you can get it. You said you left your grandma's home because she got mad at you, and you were at a friend's house down the street in Dallas County, so we should have warned for you. All right. Normally not that big of a deal as long as we could verify things, but when you got here, you refused your urinalysis.
Wait, can you repeat yourself?
Ms. Campos, has he provided UA or is it still refusing?
He did refuse, but he did provide a UA today that was
I did
clean.
not refuse
All
to
right,
take the
Mr. Henderson, this is not your turn to talk, right? So you need to stay quiet. Ms. Campos, you were saying?
He did refuse initially, but he did submit to a urinalysis today that was clean.
Okay.
And the only other thing is that mom's not here. And in May, mom was saying that she couldn't have him anymore. And so we may have to be calling CPS if she doesn't come forward sometime today. I called grandma and she said that she really can't take him because he was leaving and not coming back till like 1 o'clock the next day. And she didn't know where he was or what he's doing or who he's hanging out with. So we're planning right now to staff it if we can get somebody to take him back, but that's kind of questionable at this point.
Okay. All right, well, I'm gonna let you know, Mr. Henderson, that if you think you're impressing me by talking over Ms. Campos and shaking her head and sulking and pouting like a baby by sitting back in your chair like that, you are not impressing me. It's not working, all right? So at this point, if you're just, interrupting me doesn't impress me either. So at this point, since you are not taking the supervision of your grandmother or your mother, staying out on your own, and you have to come back here, I'm gonna go ahead and detain you. We're gonna watch your behavior level. I'm open to the idea of releasing you, but if your attitude continues to be as poor as it is right now, you're gonna be here for a while. So you can fix your attitude as a start. Just have a good attitude,
I just had something to say.
There is no situation in life that's so bad you can't make it worse. And here's a tip. When you interrupt the judge, you're making it worse, all right? All right, thank you, Mr. Henderson.
I just had something to say, that's all.
Why don't you wait and talk to your attorney, Ms. Hamrick, about it, okay?
Bro, no, bro, because that's no.
All right, she ain't your bro. She's not. All right, Keandrick, remember what I'm saying. There's no situation so bad they can't make it worse. You're continuing to make it worse. I don't know if you think that you can control the situation by pouting and sulking and crying, but you're not. All right, my decision's made. I'm going to detain you. All right.
I had something to say, that was all. That's the only reason why I kept talking. And I thought you was done talking. And I had something to say, that was it.
Hold on. Why don't you wait and talk to Ms. Hamrick about what it is that you want to say? Because the judge has already made up his mind. So talk to Ms. Hamrick and she can help you, okay?
I can't talk to nobody now. He made his mind up. I'm thinking I'm finna go home today. He made his mind up because I had something to say. Like, I had something to say, that was it. You act like I was just
that's where you're wrong. I didn't make up my mind because you had something to say. I made up my mind because you did what you did.
What did I do?
What do you mean what you do? You weren't with your grandmother, you weren't with your mom.
I was with my grandmother on my soul.
That's where you're supposed to be.
Jesus Christ. She knew exactly where I was. On God, I was right down the street. She knew exactly.
You're not helping yourself right now. I promise you.
That's not the deal though. The deal wasn't they were supposed to know where you were. The deal was you were supposed to be with grandma. You chose to start spending time with mom, which wasn't part of the deal. And then you decided to leave grandma and ma on your own decision. I don't think you understand.
You getting things mixed up. I would go to my mama's house on the weekends and she said I could go over there on the weekends. And then I stopped going over there. I stayed with my grandma. I've not been over there.
Who said you could go over there?
My mama let me go over there on the weekends, on my dead daddy grave, on everything I love.
Do you not know what probation is? Probation means you have to get permission from me. Your mom can't give you permission
to go see my mom?
Yes.
I have to give permission to you go see my mom.
That's what probation is. So
then how come I've been doing this the whole time I've been on probation?
And that is why I'm detaining you.
That don't make no sense. Even Peggy knew about this. Like what? If I was supposed to notify you to go see my mama, I would have been doing that. Okay. Peggy knew every time I went to my mama's house.
You know how to read?
Do I know how to read? Yes, I know how to read.
Okay, it was in your, did you read your probation papers?
No, that was like 2 years ago.
Well, whose fault is that then?
But Peggy knew. I'm thinking I'm only supposed to tell my probation officer.
Did you
not
read
the
your
judge.
probation officers when your probation got revoked and extended out?
I asked her, she knew. She just sitting there quiet, like, why am I being a victim? Because she knew the whole time. Come on now.
Hey, look, if you're asking me to make a decision between Ms. Campos, who's one of the hardest working probation officers that we have, who's on top of her game and she knows what's going on. Look, I'm gonna let you know what I'm reading about the effort she went to find you. Most probation officers would have just said, you know what, it's not my problem. He's not there. The judge signs a warrant. She actually tried over and over to try and get in touch with you, in touch with your mom and in touch with grandma. She didn't have to do none of that. She did it because she actually trying to help you and trying to be a good PO. And now you're trying to throw her under the bus?
How'd I throw her under the bus? I said she knew every time I went to my mama's house. That's not throwing nobody in.
You're trying to throw her under the bus. It's not gonna work. I know
Because I'm thinking I'm supposed to tell her when I go to my mama's house, not you, not the judge. I tell my probation officer.
you're supposed to tell her when you're gonna violate your probation papers.
To go see my mom? How was that violated?
Well, you know, if you read your probation papers, maybe you'd know when you're violating or not.
I'm not even in Dallas County, so technically.
So here's the thing, right, Mr. Henderson, I'm gonna let you know, you're not the victim. Stop playing the
No,
victim.
that don't make no sense at all.
You're playing the
She
victim.
knew the whole time.
It's like it's Ms. Campos's fault that you didn't read the probation papers?
How am I saying that? I said she knew the whole time. Every time I went to my mama's house on everything I
So
looked.
you're blaming her for what you didn't do.
I'm not blaming nobody. I'm telling you that I would let her know. If I would have let you, if I knew to let you know, I would have let you know. And
So, Mr. Henderson, how's it working for you being the victim?
how am I being the victim? All I'm saying is I would let her know. I'm not saying
No. How's being the victim working for you right now?
what?
How's being the victim working for you right now?
What are you talking about?
Just man up. Accept responsibility for what you did.
No, because I really tell you.
You're not gonna man up and accept. You're 17. So at this point, all right, remember, I advise you to listen. Let me finish my sentence. All right. You're 17 years. Okay, well, you know what? This is your last chance to fix your attitude because you're 17. I don't have to keep you at Kimbo. I can send you downtown to Central to the county jail. All right. That's my discretion. So the fact that you are here in the juvenile facility is based on the court and the judges trying to be nice to you. But if you're going to continue this and have an attitude and blame everyone else for your poor decisions, I'm just going to put you downtown with other people who refuse to accept responsibility. I can't help you if you don't want to help yourself. So that being said, I'm going to go and detain you. And if you level 1-0, I'll let you continue to stay here in the juvenile facility. However, if you have a poor attitude here with our detention staff, I'm just going to have you housed downtown. Okay? Thank you, Mr.
I have a question still though.
Yes. What's your question?
How is it throwing Peggy under the bus because she knew where I was? She knew every time I went to my mama. I wasn't throwing her under the bus. I was saying I would let her know
Stop being the victim.
about it the whole time.
Stop making yourself a victim.
Let you know either. So how did me, my granny, and my mama they know that we supposed to let you know when I'm supposed to go somewhere?
You know what, Mr. Henderson?
I went out of state, I let Peggy know. Every time I went out of state, and out of time I let Peggy.
Wait, you went out of state?
Yes.
Ms. Campos, did the court give permission to leave the state?
He had to go to a funeral earlier this summer, and I did know about that.
Did you give him permission, or did he just tell you he's doing it?
He went with his mother. His father passed away.
All right, Ms. Campos, you're not answering my question, right? Did he call you and ask for permission, and you said that was appropriate in your judgment, or did he just say, I'm going?
Mom texted me saying she was going.
Okay, so he left the state without permission. Okay, see, that's one more. That's another violation of probation. See, here's the thing, Mr. Henderson. I wouldn't have even known about that until you brought it up, right?
Because I let my probation officer know everything I'm doing. She knew it. Like, what if she wouldn't have?
I wouldn't have known that you left the state of Texas while you're on probation unless you just told me that. Remember when I said that there's no situation so bad you can't make it worse? Remember when Ms. Herrick said it's her advice as your attorney to not say anything because the judge made up his mind and you can't make it better, right? So why is it everyone in the world is telling you something and it's everyone else's fault? This is what I'm talking about. Stop being the victim.
How am I being the victim?
What do you mean how you're being the victim? It's everyone else's fault.
I'm not making it nobody's. I'm letting you know what I'm doing. Like, how is that? She know everything I did, so how is that my fault?
Hey, just because, that'd be like saying, Ms. Campos, I'm calling you up because I'm about to rob a 7-Eleven. Click, right? Just because she knows about it doesn't mean it's okay. You're supposed to get permission.
Okay, if I didn't have permission, I wouldn't have went. Period. Straight like that.
You didn't have permission and you did go.
So I have permission, Peggy?
She just told me that your
So I
mom
didn't have
told her
permission.
you're leaving.
Please call my mama. Join her some because I have permission the whole time.
Now, at this point,
Something that don't make
it will be
make
in
no
order
sense.
that
How y'all ganging up on me when she knew about it the whole time?
you know what? At this point, Mr. Henderson, I think it's just better if you're housed downtown. All right. So,
I'm just asking questions.
so Ed, why don't you get the paperwork for Mr. Henderson, and we'll just go ahead and house you downtown in the.
I'm just asking questions. It just don't make no sense to me. But she knew the whole time. Like,
The question about you being housed in downtown at the county
Huh?
jail? Is the question
Huh?
about you being housed in the county jail downtown?
why would I want to go down there?
No. Well, you said you had a question. That's the only question that I really want to answer right now.
Do I want to go down there? Is that what you
No,
asked?
no. Do you have a question about it? Because I've made my decision that you need to be held downtown
I want to know why though.
because your attitude is pretty bad.
I don't have an attitude. I'm just trying to understand what's the deal? If she knew what I was doing, how is that a problem?
See, at this point, it's not even about that. It's about the fact that you keep on interrupting me, that I think you're not going to be the kind of juvenile in our detention facility that can be an example for the other children. At 17 years old,
Ask him. I've been listening this
it's
whole
appropriate
time.
for you to be downtown. Okay?
I know exactly what I'm doing every time I come here. I ain't got to disrespect nobody and nothing like that. I come here, I'll be level when I do what I got to do to get home. Like, I'm just asking you questions because this don't make no sense how everybody knew except you. And then I'm still in trouble because it's a violation. When my whole probation officer knew about it and everything. My mama knew her and everything. Like, that just don't make no sense at all. Then my granny ended up saying they didn't know where I was at when I was going to the house every single day. I couldn't stay there no more. So I went to a friend's house, but I still went there every single day. When she said I was gone and I wasn't coming back, I still went there every day. You can even ask my granddad, calling my mom and everything. Like, this just don't make no sense at all how this all end up on me because I'm actually doing what I'm supposed to do. I'm letting Peggy know every time I'm doing something. Every time I see my mom on the weekend, Peggy knew about it. When I went out of town for that funeral by my dad, she knew about it. If I was supposed to let you know, me and my mom, my granny would have let you know. My mom and I just.
All right. So instead of telling me a story, do you have a question for me? Okay. Thank you, Mr. Anderson. All right, Lewis Parker. All right, Mr. Parker, I'm Judge Kim. This is a 10-day detention hearing, or no, this is an initial detention hearing. You left our facility, we let you go to be with your dad, and then you turn yourself back in. So you have to see a judge within 2 days, all right? And I have to make a decision to keep you here or not. If I keep you here, you have to see a judge every 10 days while you're here. If you have the right to remain silent, you have a right to an attorney. Trying to think at this point. Where is it? Oh yeah, Mr. Hall is your attorney. All right, so here's the thing. Did you get to spend some time with your dad?
Yes, sir.
Was it good?
Yes, sir. It was great.
Good. I'm glad. Thank you for coming back. I'm glad you did. You know, I can't make this a regular thing, but it was important to me. Your dad just got out, came back to the community. You haven't had much contact with him in a while. So I'm just, at this point, you know, I'm not going to make a regular thing. You know, I need to detain you. How serious your offense is the capital murder, or just, well, Ms. Thomas, is it a murder or capital murder charge?
Capital murder.
Capital, right? It's a capital murder charge. You know, somebody had died. In this is the Las Vegas Trail one.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
So, Mr. Parker, at this point, I'm going to detain you, but let's get your behavior level up because I'm open to this idea. And it still bothers me that you're in here this whole time. But you understand when I let you go last time, you went off, you got caught with a new gun. And so I'm very hesitant about you. I'm very, very cautious, but I don't mind if this drags on more, is it doing something like we did this last weekend, okay?
And Judge is in the restoration program, so hopefully he'll get help on that.
Okay, good. Yeah, keep on. Mr. Parker, do what you've been doing because you were doing good, all right? And I want you to keep up with that. I don't mind helping foster this relationship with your dad, especially since he's been absent from your life. I want to encourage, especially young men, to have interaction with their fathers. But you understand, I just can't release you, not because you burned me last time, okay?
Yes, sir.
All right, any questions, Mr. Parker?
No, sir.
All right, thank you.
Thanks, Judge.
Thank you, Mr. Hall. Lamarian Perry. All right, Mr. Perry. All right, Mr. Perry, I'm Judge Kim. This is a detention hearing. The law says when a child's brought to our facility, you have to see a judge within 2 days, and I have to decide whether to keep you or release you. If I keep you here, you have to see a judge every 10 days while you're here. You have a right to remain silent. You have a right to an attorney. Ms. Herrick, for the time being, has been appointed as your attorney. Ms. Herrick, can you introduce yourself?
Hello.
All right, do you see Ms. Herrick on the screen?
Yes, sir.
Okay, good. All right, Mr. Perry, so you're 14 years old. You had a history with this department starting when you were 10. No, starting when you're 9 with some prevention programs. And then you're 12 years old with an assault bodily injury. Then you turn 13 and you're on probation for a burglary of a building. That's supposed to end July of next year. And when you came in, we gave you a drug test. You test positive for weed. So you're smoking marijuana while you're on probation. So, see, your probation officer says that they've been supervising you since August. They've had no problems in the last month. You're enrolled in public school, virtual learning because of coronavirus. You still owe restitution of $4,200 and 120 hours of community service. And you're in our mentorship program. All right. So let's see where we're at now. See, on Friday, you were brought in by North Richland Hills Police. They're saying there was a dispatch to a burglary of a motor vehicle in progress. When they got there, let's see, this is about 2:30 in the afternoon. When they got there, they met with a person, said that his friend called them that 2 black males were seen digging in his Acura. And so he called the police. He was given a ride. And then the victim said he was missing his black wallet containing $40, driver's license, and a red velvet case with $10 in change. He said his vehicle was parked in the parking lot in front of his building and the door was unlocked. So the police then met with the friend who said that he chased 2 black males who had just been inside his friend's car, chased them to Richland Hills High School. There was a video of him in the vehicle, and the police are on the way. Police said that his other friend pulled up in her vehicle, and the males took off running across the parking lot. They jumped a fence, through a yard, and jumped over another fence. So they met with Roya, who said that she was taking the trash out, walked past the vehicle. She saw them get up and start running away, assuming the 2 black males. Provided a description: 2 black males, thin, about 5'8", one with a black t-shirt and jeans with a face tattoo, the other with a white t-shirt and tan shorts with short hair. So there was a video from a neighbor in a building across a parking lot, showed the 2 people in the vehicle and run away. So then dispatch called and said that the resident had found 2 black males in his backyard. Adjacent to the person who was taking out the trash, saw the 2 black males jump a fence. Police went to the call, and the officer talked with, another resident who was an off-duty Bedford police officer. His wife said someone was in the backyard. He went up there, and they were kneeling in the backyard. They told him they were waiting for someone to pick them up. So one of the black males tried to make a phone call. So the off-duty officer took his phone and held the 2 black males. So, all right, original North Richland Police identified the black male as Lamarian Perry. Perry would not give his guardian's name. The phone rang and it showed up Aunt Kay on the caller ID. So they answered the phone, talked to the caller. She said she was Lamarian's aunt, was out looking for him. The officer explained who he was, situation, and he met with her. She identified herself and told the officer Lamarian's mother's name. first name, unknown last name, and the phone number. So the aunt didn't know the mom's last name. All right, so anyways, you were brought to North Richmond Hills and locked in the juvenile processing office. Then they met with another neighbor who had a video footage and showed Lemarian and his friend walking in Rodriguez's backyard out the gate. Went outside, asked them what they're doing. They continue to walk into another backyard. So while they're processing Lemarian, his phone rang and it was mom. So police answered the phone, identified the person as your mom. And they told her that you're in custody for burglary of a motor vehicle and 2 criminal trespasses, and that you would be here at Kimbo. Where you came in, tested positive. All right, Mom, you're here. Mom, what's going on? Like, what's with his attitude?
You would have to ask him that. I don't know.
Is he like this at home with you?
Yeah,
Okay. How long has this been going on?
as long as I can remember.
I'm sorry?
As long as I can remember.
Nah, he wasn't like this when he was 5 years old, was he?
He's been like this for a while. You read all the paperwork. He's been out of control for a while.
All right. Mr. Mitchell, do we know who the other young black male was?
No, sir. That individual did abscond, and I have no report of saying if they caught him or not.
Mom, why wasn't he at home? Do you know?
Because he asked to go to his cousin's house, and I let him go.
Who's his cousin?
Elijah.
You know his last name?
No, I don't. That's not, that's his family on his dad's side. I don't know them like that. Those are not my people.
All right, and Shamika, that's, I guess, aunt on the dad's side too?
I'm Shamika, I'm the mom.
I'm sorry, Aunt Kay.
KK,
Yeah, Aunt Kay, that's on the dad's side also, I guess.
yes.
Has he ever seen a mental health doctor?
No.
Yeah, this is just very bizarre behavior. Like, I just don't understand, why would he give his parents' name? Right? I mean, he'll tell you his name and date of birth, but won't give his mom's
Because he knew that I was gonna be mad, that's why.
name. I mean, are you madder now? Or then you would have been if you just...
Upset. Very upset.
Now you had to come over here. Remember, there's no situation in life that's so bad that you can't make it worse. So, is this behavior at home pretty erratic? I mean, does he have mood outbursts? Does he make poor decisions?
Lamarian was diagnosed with depression and mood swings, so.
Okay, when was he diagnosed?
Medication right now.
I'm sorry?
He's not on his medication at this time.
All right, when's the last time you saw a doctor?
It's been over a year.
Oh, okay. Well, I'll tell you what, Mom, this is what I want to do is I want to go ahead and give him a psychiatric evaluation, see where he's at. Okay. Now, when he was on his medication, did he do pretty well?
Yes, he just didn't like taking them.
Sure. Okay. So, Marian, this is what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and order a psych eval for you. The doctor will probably come in Thursday this week. And, I need you to participate. If you don't participate, then that causes problems by releasing you. But as long as you participate, we get, let's see, Mommy said anxiety order and what else?
Mood swings.
What else?
She said depression, Your Honor.
Depression, okay. All right, so Lemarian, this is what I'm laying out for you. We have a doctor see you. Doctor can give you a prescription, get you up to date. You can take your medication. If you're taking medication and your behavior's up, then I go ahead and can release you back to Mom. All right, but if I release you to Mom, then you have to continue to take your medication. If you don't take your medication, she'll call us and we'll just bring you back here. So that's something to think about, is either you can stay here. If you're not going to take your medication, you'll stay here. You can earn your way out by taking your medication. All right, it's pretty simple. I mean, I'm not too worried. None of this was really that violent. My concern is nothing's going to change if we don't make changes, right? If I just put you back out on the street to your mom right now, just the way you came in, I think you're just going to keep on doing what you've been doing. And nobody thinks that's right. Mom, does that sound like a fair plan for now to start with?
Yes.
Okay, so we'll start with this. If it works, great. If it doesn't, we'll tweak the plan and change it around a little bit and see what we can do to help Lamarian, okay? All right, Lamarian, remember, you're gonna have to be level 1-0. If you have an attitude back there, you get in fights, causing problems, you will not get to level 1-0, and you will not be released, okay? Level 1-0 is what you can do to put yourself in a position where we will release you. All right, do you understand, Lamarian?
Yes, sir.
All right, thank you. All right, Cynthia Spriggs.
She's here, Judge.
Hello, Cynthia. I'm Judge Kim. This is a detention hearing. Law says when a child's brought here, you have to see a judge within 2 days, and I have to decide whether to keep you or release you. If I keep you here, you have to see a judge every 10 days while you're here. You do have a right to an attorney. You have your right to remain silent. Now, to afford an attorney, we'll provide one for you. For now, we have appointed Ms. Mills as your attorney. Ms. Mills, are you here? Okay, so Ms. Herrick, who is here to cover for Ms. Mills today. Ms. Herrick, can you introduce yourself, please? Can you say something so your screen pops up?
Hello.
Well, Cynthia, do you see Ms. Herrick over there?
Yeah.
Okay. All right. That's a yes?
Yes.
All right. Thank you. So that's, if you have any questions, Ms. Herrick is here. She's also here to make sure your rights are protected, that I don't violate your rights. So, all right. So, Ms. Spriggs, you're 14 years old. You've never been here before. Let's see. According to the police, they were dispatched to a residence for a domestic. They met with the victim, which is your grandma, who said that you were angry because she found out your boyfriend, who you've been dating for 3 days, has a girlfriend and a baby by another girl. So the family tried to calm you down, but it escalated. When they tried to keep you from running from the house, you pushed the victim with the wall 3 times, causing her pain. Are grandparents not here?
Your Honor, they're walking in right now.
Oh, they are? Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Hi, Grandma.
Mom lives there also, Your Honor.
Oh, your mom?
Mom and Grandma live in the same household.
You're the grandmother. Okay.
I'm the grandma.
All right.
Very good. There you go.
Okay. So let's see. Probation is saying that we have the options of, what's DMP stand for?
Declaration of non-prosecution.
Oh, okay. All right. Mediation. Family wants to keep the department involved and the youth accountable in case she doesn't follow the rules. Because they think she might agree to the rules in mediation, but not follow through with them. They think that you need some supervision. There's a concern that you're at risk. You're diagnosed bipolar, anxiety, depression, and receive psychiatric care from JPS. Oh, and not taking her medication. Okay, so mom and grandma, do y'all live together, or she's living with grandma?
Together. We live together in my house.
Okay, good. So when was the last time she saw a doctor?
What was that the last time she got admitted, or yeah, when she was maybe 3 weeks ago.
3 weeks? Okay, good. Because you know children are supposed to see a mental health doctor every 6 weeks. That's just because the brain is changing. And so we need to stay on top of it. Prescriptions will go out of whack just because the child's maturing physically. All right, so the next question I'm going to have is, why did she take her medication? Does she just not like it? She doesn't like the way it makes her feel?
I don't think she always tells me it's not going to work.
Can you say that again, please?
She always tells me it's not going to work.
Okay, maybe can you pull down the mask because I'm having a hard time I'm understanding.
She always tells me it's not gonna work, so I mean, I'm just guessing that's the reason why.
Well, okay, so she tells you that, or you're guessing?
No, she told me that, but I'm saying, like, I'd go to give her medicine and we'd find it, or I have to watch her swallow it most of the time so she doesn't get rid of it.
Right. Okay,
She will-
so
I'm sorry to interrupt.
I beg your pardon?
I'm the grandma. She will pretend to take the medication and then we'll find it where she's hidden it in her room. And that touches that. But then when she gets upset, she says the medication doesn't do anything for her.
Cynthia, don't say anything just yet, okay?
Actually, when she is on her medication, she's a totally different person.
The medication is working.
In my opinion, yes.
Yeah, when she takes it. Okay. All right. So, and this is not, I'm not trying to be tough here, but this is just a very candid, honest question. Okay. If you know that she will pretend taking it and spit it out, and sometimes you have to make her or watch her take it, how come you don't watch her take it every time?
I'm going to let her mother answer that because her mother's the one that administrates it.
I guess because I trust her and I've got 2 other kids that I got to deal with in the morning.
Right. Now, and again, I promise you, Mom, I'm not trying to beat you up, but if you know that her not taking medication causes problems, I imagine the problems that she causes when she's not on her medication is a whole lot more than the trouble it would be to make sure she takes it, right?
Yeah.
I mean, right now, because if she doesn't take medication and you have to sit there and watch her swallow it, you know, you're talking about maybe using 5-10 minutes of your day, right? But how much time do you spend keeping up with Cynthia when she doesn't take her medication? You see where I'm going with this?
Sure.
And I promise you, I'm a judge, but I'm not being judgy. Okay. I'm not trying to judge you, right? I'm not trying to point out, like, I'm not saying this like a flaw. I'm just kind of, because a lot of times in life, you know, you just want another person, their perspective, just kind of hash it out and just verbalize the thought process. This is not me criticizing you. This is just kind of me pointing out what I see from over here. Does that make sense?
Yes, sir.
Mom, I want you to take this, receive this in the spirit I'm intending to offer it, okay, which is not negative at all, I promise you, okay? So, but clearly, I think we can, all 3 of us agree that Cynthia needs to take her medication. Is that fair to say?
Yes.
Yes, sir.
So now, has she, Grandma or Mom, has she physically been violent with either of you in the past?
Not me.
When this incident arose.
This is the first time?
Yes, sir.
Okay. So now, Grandma, I guess you are Mom's mom. Is that correct?
That's my mother-in-law.
Okay. So it's your mother-in-law. Okay.
Yes, sir.
All right. So Mom, I'm sure you remember when you were a 14-year-old girl, right?
Yes.
And I'm sure you remember the emotional roller coaster that you went through, just part of growing up, right?
Yes.
Grandma, do you have a daughter as well, or just a son?
Just a son.
Okay. So there is a unique relationship that I understand between a mother and daughter, especially when she enters into the young teenage years. Okay. And that's just part of life. Now, I'm not worried that there's conflict because every mother-daughter in history has had a conflict, okay? That in of itself isn't bad. My concern is whether it's a safe environment for her to be released to, right? If there is a danger to y'all or the other kids or anybody else, or is this just a Cynthia, she's not a bad person, this is just a bad moment?
Can I speak, Your Honor?
Please.
Cynthia has anger issues.
Okay.
Whether she's on her medication or whether she is not.
Okay.
She is angry at her siblings or her smaller sister.
How young is this younger sister?
11.
Okay.
And the grandson is 8. Okay. And they're small. They're small. They have different fathers than Cynthia, and they're very small, unlike Sissy, which really doesn't have anything to do with except the size difference. When she hits them, she slapped her 8-year-old brother in the back one night, so hard, the handprint stayed there for a minimum of 20 minutes. And I did call the police because she was being violent at that point. She was just not mad at that one little thing. She was being violent. Last week, she hit her little sister in the arm and left a bruise that's still there. It's healing now, but it is still there.
So this all kind of escalating recently, like within the last year or so?
I'm sorry?
Is this violent behavior just kind of escalating within the last year or so? Or is this ongoing for years and years?
You're cutting out. I'm sorry.
Oh,
sir.
I'm sorry. So is this violent behavior something that's recent, or is it kind of escalating? Or is this something that has been going on for several years now?
It's I would say to the extreme it is now, it's recent. She used to be very, very, very close to all of us, and we all love her. Her little sister would not tell us where that bruise came from for several days. And now that Cynthia is gone, she finally admitted that Cynthia hit her in the arm with her fist. And it was over who was going to have the telephone to play on it or associate with friends or whatever. And
okay, so I'm going to interrupt. I have another question. I've already forgotten it, so I don't want to forget that up. This boy that she's been talking to, how old is he?
I don't know, sir. I don't know which one she's had several men. To me, anyone 18 or older is a man that she has been having relationships with. She tells them, and it's on her Facebook page. I saw that one day when it just popped up on my phone. She tells them she presents herself as 16.
Yeah, but she lies to us too. She doesn't tell us
And yes,
how old they really are.
and just last week, there was a man. He admitted to me he was 18. I feel like he was older than that. He looked much older than that.
Did you call the police?
Yeah.
I did.
You did call the police and made the report?
Yes, I did.
Okay. On just him or all of them?
On several. 2 weeks ago, approximately, she had a different boyfriend, and he was at the house. He seemed nice enough until the neighbors started calling and complaining that he and Cynthia were taking packages off of their porch. And we've been told by her brother and sister even that she brags about car hopping, where they're going car to car looking in the cars. The neighbors have complained about her doing that as well. The neighbors all have video cameras, and she has been on those.
So did the neighbors report her to the police?
No, they did not. They called me and told me what was going on because they know me.
So this, grandma and mom, this is your decision to make, but there are really two major classifications of cases this court hears: misdemeanors and felonies. I'm just letting you know there's a lot more services that are offered for a felony level offense, which stealing packages off a porch is, right? And so this is just something to consider. I'm sorry?
I'm sorry, you're cutting in and out.
Oh, I'm saying that stealing packages off a porch is a felony in Texas. And so there are more services we can offer with a felony than we can with a misdemeanor, which is what an assault family violence would be, right? And so because of that, this is something that you may want to consider, is the neighbor filing the report, because it gives the court more options to help provide her help, right? And these are all still juvenile records. They get sealed. Most of them just end up getting sealed anyways, all right? So
Your Honor, I'm sorry, the neighbor did not file a report because they knew who it was from the video. And so they called and they said they wanted the package back immediately.
And that is their discretion. That's their choice. I'm not gonna pretend to know better than what y'all do. You know your daughter and granddaughter way better than I do. So I'm not telling you what to do. I'm just saying this is an option. I want you to be informed, okay? So, all right, well, I'll tell you what, Cynthia, normally I would just go ahead and let you go. It's a family violence case, mediation's on the table, and there's no history. The problem is you're not compliant with your medication, all right? And the problem is that you're just escalating things, and I think you have significant behavioral problems. Hold on a second. I'll let you ask a question in a second. All right. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and keep you. All right. Mom, grandma, did y'all bring the medication with you?
Yes.
Okay. So make sure you get that to the probation officer, which is Ms. Turner Hill. Oh, good. Ms. Turner Hill's fantastic. Give her the medication before you leave the building, and so we can make sure. I want to make sure that Cynthia is medication compliant before I release her. If she's not going to take the medication here under supervision, she's not going to take it at home, and we're going to end up with problems here, okay? And so this is really up to Cynthia to behave. She has to get to level 1.0 and show me that she can behave here. She has to take her medication. At that point, I'm open to the idea of letting her go back home, okay? But if I let her go back without changing anything, then we shouldn't be surprised when her behavior at home does not change. Does that make sense?
Yes, sir.
We've got to change something, all right? And so this is what I'm going to change. All right, so Cynthia, you had a question for me.
How am I supposed to take my medicine when it's locked up in her room and she's too doped out to tell me when to take it?
All right, so at this point, Cynthia, I should let you know that there's no situation so bad that you can't make it worse. If you're going to make yourself a victim in this one, then it's not going to end up well for you, all right? So
how am I supposed to take my medicine when she can't give it to me? It's locked in her room.
that's not even the issue right now. The issue now is looking forward, if you're going to take your medication or not. Is there going to be a problem with you taking your medication here?
No, there's not.
I'm sorry, I didn't hear you.
There's not going to be.
Okay. So you take your medication, you get your behavior to level 1.0 and problem solved, all right? But if you refuse to take your medication, looking forward, if you refuse to take it or refuse to follow our rules, then there's going to be a lot of problems. I mean, it's really just that simple. I'm not talking about the past, I'm talking about the future, right? You control your future, you control when you get out of here. It's really up to you, all right? Also, I'm going to let you know, Cynthia, that if there's going to be probation on this case, then I'm probably going to make a condition probation to give us the names of all your boyfriends that you've had. Okay? Instagram handles, stuff like that. So I need to make you aware that this is a distinct possibility. Okay? So, all right. Any other questions for me, Cynthia?
No.
All right. Thank you. All right, so at this point, I'm going to go ahead and I think we have 10-day hearings. Turn it over to Judge Porter. We'll take care of these, and I'll be back for the remainder of the remaining child for the under 14. Thank you.
Thank you, Judge Kim. Good morning, everyone. Mohammed Ahmed. Are you Mr. Ahmed?
Yes, sir.
All right, Mr. Ahmed. The law says when you're brought into detention and initially detained, you must see a judge every 10 business days thereafter. This is your 10-day hearing. You have the right to remain silent. You also have the right to an attorney. And Ms. Hopkins is your attorney, and she is here to represent you. The court previously determined that probable cause exists to believe that you engaged in delinquent conduct. Since that time, you have been level 1.0 since the 23rd. Is that correct, Ms. Paxton?
Judge, I'm covering for Ms. Paxton.
All right, thank you, Ms. Blair. But he has been level 1.0 since the 23rd. Is that correct, Ms. Blair?
Correct.
And is Dad is here today?
Yes.
Dad, do you wish Mr. Ahmed to come home today?
Yes, sir.
Ms. Blair, when he came in on the 11th, he was positive, correct, for marijuana?
Correct, Judge.
But he's been continuously in detention since that time, correct?
Yes.
All right, Dad, tell me what kind of restrictions he will be on if he is at home with you?
All I need, he can just take the medication and follow the family rules and the school rules.
Mr. Ahmed, you heard your dad's conditions for you getting to go home. Are you
Yes,
willing
sir.
to abide by those conditions?
Yes, sir.
So if I make it a requirement of your release that you're released on electronic monitor, that you must attend school with 0 unexcused absences, whether it's online or in person, you agree to abide by that condition?
Yes, sir.
And you agree to abide by all of your dad's rules?
Yes, sir.
And you agree to not commit any new offenses while you're released?
No, sir.
Oh,
Yes,
you don't
I
agree with that?
I agree.
Okay, and that includes you are not allowed to push your dad.
Yes, sir.
You understand that? Mr. Haynes, do you have any additional concerns that the court needs to take into consideration?
Not at this time, Your Honor.
Ms. Hopkins, what are your thoughts?
Your Honor, my client would like to go home and be with his father. He understands what an electronic monitor will be and is open to that. And he is looking forward to being able to go home. So we asked the judge, due to his good behavior and the desires for the family to reunite, that he be able to go home today.
All right, that will be granted. Ms. Blair, I've already signed the EM order, but Mr. Ahmed,
yes, sir.
Understand that I'm releasing you on the condition that you must go to school with 0 unexcused absences. So there's no more skipping school. You understand that?
Yes, sir.
And you must obey your father's rules. You understand that?
Yes, sir.
Dad, if he fails to abide by those promises he just made to me and to you, you let Miss Blair or Miss Paxton know, and we will arrange for another meeting where your son and I get to talk about why it's a bad idea for him to skip school or not obey your rules. Sound good?
Yes, sir.
All right, that'll be the order of the court. Thank you, everybody.
Thanks, Judge.
Excused.
Yes, thank you, Ms. Hopkins. Good to see you.
See you too. Have a good day.
Thank you.
Emma Gonzalez.
You want to wait up there?
Are you Ms. Gonzalez?
Yes, sir.
Ms. Gonzalez, the law says when you're brought into detention and initially detained, you must see a judge every 10 business days thereafter. The court has previously determined that probable cause exists to believe that you engaged in delinquent conduct and ordered your detention. But this is your follow-up 10-day detention hearing. You have the right to remain silent. You also have the right to an attorney. And Mr. Lofton, your attorney is here to represent you.
Good morning.
Good morning, Mr. Lofton. I will note, let's see, you've been level 1-0 since the 23rd. Ms. Guerrero, she has a history with this department, correct?
Yes, Judge, she has a history of running away.
And the last time she was released, she cut off her EM, didn't she?
Correct, sir. That was the second time.
And she cut off her EM not even a month after she was released, correct? If memory serves.
That is correct, Judge. It was probably about 2 or 3 days after her release that she cut off her monitor.
We were going so well. All right, Mr. Lofton, what are your thoughts?
Judge, we would ask that she be released with a monitor, give her another shot, but we understand the court and the district attorney's office and the community supervision's concerns.
All right, Ms. Gonzalez, you burned me too many times. You're level 1-0, and that's really good, but I'm not convinced, not for just 5 days on level 1-0, that if I were to release you, you wouldn't cut it off again. So I think you'd be a danger to yourself if I released you, okay? And you'd also likely to abscond. So based on that, I kind of have to order you to be detained. You understand, right?
Yes, sir.
All right, thanks. We'll see you again in 2 weeks.
Okay.
Thank you, Judge.
All right, thank you, Ms. Guerrero. Alexander Abram Hernandez.
Deja.
All right.
Who did you need, Your Honor?
Mr. Hernandez.
Right here. Here he comes.
All right. All right, are you Mr. Hernandez?
Yes, sir.
Mr. Hernandez, the law says when you're brought into detention and initially detained, you must see a judge every 10 business days thereafter. This is your 10-day hearing. You have the right to remain silent. You also have the right to an attorney, and Mr. Lofton is your attorney. He's here to represent you.
Good morning.
Good morning.
You see Mr. Lofton?
Yeah.
Good morning.
Good morning.
All right. Ms. Rodriguez, he's level 3 unacceptable in the back, isn't he?
Correct.
Mr. Hernandez, what did Judge Kim tell you last time?
He had told me to be level 1 for 7 days.
Yeah. Are you there?
No, sir.
What do I need to do? Yeah, you know what I need to do. What do I need to do?
No, sir.
Yeah, you do. What do I need to do?
I don't know, sir.
Do I need to detain you?
I mean, I guess
Why?
for not being a 1-0 for 7 days.
Yes, sir. Do you know why it's important for you to get to level 1-0 and maintain it for 7 days?
No, sir.
Because if you can get to level 1-0 and you maintain it consistently for 7 days, then that tells me as a judge that you know how to follow the rules and that you can do it and you can maintain that. And if you can maintain level 1-0 in the back for 7 days, then I have reason to believe that you can maintain level 1-0 if I were to release you back home. All right?
Yeah.
That's really what I'm looking for, okay?
All right.
All right, so I'm going to order you be detained. If you will hold up your end and get to level 1-0 and maintain it, then I'll hold up Judge Kim's end, okay?
All right.
All right, thank you, sir.
May I be excused, Your Honor?
Yes, sir. Thank you very much, Mr. Lofton. Good to see you.
Good morning to everybody. Good seeing y'all.
All right. Is Mr. Willett here? I know he was here earlier. There he is. All right. Are you Miss Huey?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir. Thank you. All right, Miss Huey, the law says when you're brought into detention and initially detained, you must see a judge every 10 business days thereafter. This is your 10-day hearing. You have the right to remain silent. You also have the right to an attorney. And Mr. Willett is your attorney. He's here to make sure your rights are protected. Mr. Crawl, Miss Huey is level 1-0 in the back, so that's really good for her. But she also has a history of violence. Is that correct?
That is correct, Your Honor.
And she's had how many placements? 37? Am I remembering correctly?
That's correct.
All right. Mr. Willett, what are your thoughts?
Your Honor, I think we were trying to, she was trying to go back to where the group home she had been in before. I think that was our last hearing. She's done well here. I think Judge Kim had kind of said, well, she's not staying here. We need to find a place for her. And that's kind of the last hearing that we did. But obviously she's done well here. So I would hope she could be at least released back to her prior home.
And Ms. Smith. Let's get you unmuted, Ms. Smith. Wait, where did Ms. Smith? There you are. Okay.
Yes.
Ms. Smith, how are we coming at getting her back to her previous placement?
We are willing to accept Deja back into the placement. Again, we do have a few concerns with she is a 4-to-1 ratio, according to DFPS. The state level has made her a 4-to-1 ratio. Again, having her come back into the placement, the concerns that we have is of her multiple assaults and her, violation of the property and again, as I mentioned before, grabbing a knife and attacking all 4 of her caregivers at one time, making sure to try to keep the staff. So the concern is that I have for Deja is that she was in detention for 90 days at the Dallas County and then came out directly to my care of our agency and exhibit multiple assaults, multiple charges in that short time of, being released. I'm not asking for per se.
Miss Smith, I'm sorry to interrupt. I didn't hear anything after. I'm not asking.
Okay, I'm sorry. Are you able to hear me?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, so I'm not requesting or asking for her to, just to be or remain in a detention center. My biggest concern is that, when she does get released, these attacks, start again and she severely, injures someone or hurts someone. So those are my legitimate concerns. I do know that the state is also on this Zoom and they are her CPS worker and supervisor, and they are trying to get her in the state supported center because of all of the violence. And the Fort Worth police that respond call concern is she coming back or, because the assaults that she did on them. Make sure that I'm in hopes that this is not just, her good behavior here and then we get her back out to the community and then we're all at risk.
Who's here from OCOK?
Your Honor, the parent computer is down. Miss Nash is here with CPS, but the computer.
No. Sorry to interrupt. Ms. Nash is actually my program manager. She's not here from CPS.
Oh, okay.
Out of town doing this via Zoom. CPS is Tiffany as well as Michelle Cleaver.
Oh, my bad.
No problem.
Okay. All right. Tiffany, what are your thoughts? Help me out.
Given her overall behavior and all the assault she's done, I would prefer her to stay. However, I don't.
Yeah, but we're not a placement. We're not a placement.
I mean, if she could get back to her placement with Miss Cynthia and really take care of business, I'm all for her going back. It's just like the constant assault on her staff.
Well, okay, but when she's with Miss Cynthia, she can receive some services through CPS. When she's in detention, there's not a whole lot. I mean, we do offer some services in detention, but not the full panoply that y'all have available to you through Miss Smith, right?
Mm-hmm.
That's a yes, right? All right.
Yes, sir.
Okay. Ms. Huey?
Yes, sir.
Can you promise Miss Cynthia and can you promise Miss Tiffany that you can maintain level 1.0 if I were to release you today?
Yes, sir.
Okay. I want you to tell me 2 coping mechanisms you've got in your tool belt. So we all get frustrated. Trust me, as a judge, I get frustrated every day. But tell me 2 things you can do to handle those situations where you get frustrated.
Go to my room and just meditate.
Okay. What do you think about when you meditate?
A happy place at the beach.
All right. Okay. So I'm going to order that she be released to OCOK. All right. And to be returned to Miss Smith. Okay.
say one more thing, Your Honor, please?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, thank you. Yes,
Uh-oh,
also that, I'm
I
sorry,
lost
while
you.
we're all here, I wanted, can you hear me?
You're breaking up, so
Can
just
you-
go slowly.
Okay. While we're all here, I want to ask Deja to make sure she's going to school, that she's not going to refuse school. She's going to take her medications. She's not going to refuse any treatments, because that's a problem that we have too. So I'm excited about her being able to come back, but those that lead to a lot of extra behaviors is her refusal of school, refusal of treatments that we offer, refusal of the program to work for her, and especially refusal of her medications.
All right. Ms. Huey, okay, I'm going to allow you to be released to go back to placement, but Ms. Smith's right. You have to go to school. You understand that?
Yes, sir.
Will you be willing to do that for me?
Yes, sir.
And you must cooperate with your medication management as directed by your doctors. Will you do that for me?
Yes, sir.
I know it's hard. Trust me, I understand. It wasn't that long ago that I was a kid. Well, maybe it was a long time ago when I was a kid, but I still remember. It's not easy, but that's part of growing up, is tackling the hard stuff and making those progressions through life. And school and medication management are part of it. So I need you to do those for me, will you?
Yes, sir.
All right. So I'm going to make it a condition of your release that you must attend school and comply with medication management.
Yes,
All
sir.
right. Thank you, Ms. Huey.
You're welcome.
Okay, that'll be the order of the court.
Thank you.
All right. Jose Santos Moreno. Oh, I just did Alexander Hernandez. It's too late. Well, sorry about that, everybody. I had a visitor. All right. Are you Mr. Moreno?
Yes, sir.
Mr. Moreno, the law says when you're brought into detention and initially detained, you must see a judge every 10 business days thereafter. This is your 10-day hearing. You have the right to remain silent. You also have the right to an attorney. Is Mr. Newman here? I do not see him. Miss Herrick, can you help out?
Yes, absolutely.
All right. Mr. Moreno, I am appointing Ms. Herrick for the purposes of just this hearing. So if you have any legal questions, you want to ask those of her. And also, if there's something you want to say, please, please, please do not blurt it out. Instead, move your hand back and forth like this. I'll create a private internet chat room for you and Ms. Herrick to talk about what you want to say. That way she can advise you to probably keep your mouth shut. She's had 2 clients earlier this morning who ignored her advice and started talking to the judge, and things went bad, really bad. We don't want that for you, Mr. Moreno, okay?
Yes, sir.
All right. Mr. Moreno, you're level 1-0. That's first thing, that's good. Second thing is, last time we released you, you cut off your EM. Isn't that correct, Ms. Lopez? Uh-oh, Ms. Lopez.
Yes, Your Honor, he cut it off.
Yeah, and while after he cut it off, then he came back with a new charge, isn't that right?
No, Your Honor, he came in on the warrant and he was.
Oh, okay. I'm mixing this with another case. But still, the underlying offense, Mr. Moreno, is an aggravated robbery of the ice cream truck. And that just really scares me. You understand, right?
Yes, sir.
All right. Here's what I would tell you and what Mr. Newman would tell you and what Ms. Herrick will tell you. You want to maintain level 1.0 in the back, even if I'm not releasing you. And here's why. When you're level 1.0 in the back, that gives Mr. Newman, Ms. Herrick, any defense attorney, that puts them in the absolute best position to argue for the absolute best deal they can get for you, if indeed you and your attorney together decide that y'all want to plead. It could be possible that none of this is true, that you weren't involved at all. That's a different story. But you want to put yourself in the best possible position. You want to put your attorney in the best possible bargaining position. And when you're level 1.0 in the back, that puts your attorney in the best possible position to argue your case for you. All right?
Yes, sir.
So keep doing what you're doing. But as for right now, the underlying circumstances of your detention are just too scary for me. Okay?
Yes,
So I got
sir.
to order that you be detained.
Okay,
Thank you, sir. Thank you, Mr. Moreno. All right, Mr. Sparks. Howdy, Mr. Sparks.
Fine, Judge.
Hello, Mr. Adeniji, how are you?
Good.
All right, Mr. Sparks, my name's Judge Porter. We've met before, right?
Yes, sir.
All right.
My parents are here.
Pardon?
I don't see my parents. Are here?
Your mom's here.
Oh, yes, ma'am.
Do you see him now, Jalen?
No, sir.
Mom, can you say something? She's got that blue-green t-shirt.
I don't see no shit. She's not on the screen, sir.
Hey, can you hear me?
Yeah, I can see y'all.
All right, Jalen. Law says when you're brought into detention and initially detained, you must see a judge every 10 business days thereafter. This is your 10-day hearing. You have the right to remain silent, not say anything at all. You also have the right to an attorney. Mr. Adeniji is your attorney. He's here to advise you and keep you from getting into any greater trouble. Now, the court previously determined that probable cause exists to believe that you engaged in delinquent conduct. However, what's your level in the back, sir?
1A.
Yeah, what's it supposed to be?
1-0, but like to
Anytime you follow a statement with a comma, but, that everything that comes after that is an excuse. All right? You don't want to do that. You just want to say 1A. If you want to add anything, you say 1A today, but I'm going to be 1-0 tomorrow.
Yes, yeah, I'm gonna be 1-0 tomorrow.
There you go. Say it with confidence. All right? That way you're taking ownership. You're manning up. You're taking ownership of what you got, and you're setting a goal for yourself that is a positive goal. And when you do that kind of thinking, that impresses the judge. But when you say 1A, comma, but, that doesn't impress us. Does that make sense?
Yes, sir.
All right. So, what do I need your level at?
1-0.
All right. You're not quite there yet, right?
Yes, sir.
But you can get there tomorrow?
Yes, sir.
All right. Get to level 1-0. And then keep that. And then we'll have this discussion again in 2 weeks, right?
Yes, sir.
All right. Thank you, sir. But
We have a setting on.
I'm sorry, Mr. Adeniji, what'd you say?
We have a setting on October 1st.
All right. Well, who's it in front of? Judge Terry or Judge me?
It's in front of you, Judge Porter.
All right. All right. Jalen, you and I'll see each other, I think, on Thursday. Sound good?
Yes, sir.
If it goes down, because we haven't seen the petition yet.
Oh. Well,
there's
Mr. Haynes.
There's a new referral that I haven't seen the petition.
All right, Mr. Haynes. I don't know. Let's see. Who's Mr. Haynes, will you talk to Ms. Farmer and see if she can expedite any paperwork on Jalen Sparks?
Yes, Your Honor, I will.
And that way, if everything gets wrapped up in time for Mr. Adeniji to be prepared, then we might get to go on Thursday. All right.
Yes, Your Honor, I'll email her right now and I'll go tell her afterwards.
Of course, ultimately that decision is up to Mr. Adeniji and Mr. Sparks. So we'll see.
Can I talk to my attorney?
You'll be able to call him and he'll be able to call you later today. Okay.
So I won't have court on the first.
It's planned right now. It's scheduled. Okay.
On the first, but it depends. But like the judge said, I will let you know what's going to happen.
And you let me know what's going to happen.
The probation officer will contact you.
All right. Thank you, everybody.
All right, Mom. All right, Stace. I love y'all.
All right. Now Judge Kim will take over.
Well, thank you, Judge Porter. All right. So normally, according to the Texas Family Code, when a child is under the age of 14, the court closes the hearings. However, the Family Code states that if the court finds that the interest of the child or the interest of the public would be better served by opening the hearing to the public, I'm going to leave this proceeding open and broadcasting. So, Rodney Warren Moore.
Yes, sir.
Hello, Mr. Moore.
Yes, sir.
Judge Kim, this is a detention hearing, right? You know, we've seen each other before. All right? When you're brought in here, you have to see a judge within 2 days. I have to decide what, yes, sir?
Well, you can keep talking. I'm there to let you talk first. Yes,
Thank you.
Hey, buddy.
So when you see a judge, when you come in here, you have to see a judge within 2 days, and I have to decide whether to keep you in custody or to release you. If I keep you in custody, the law says you have to see a judge every 10 days while you're here. You do have a right to an attorney. If you cannot afford an attorney, I'll provide one for you. Mr. Moore, your attorney is Lizzie Barrows. Ms. Barrows, are you here? Okay, Ms. Herrick, then I'm gonna ask you to step in. Ms. Herrick, can you introduce yourself?
Sir?
Yes?
Sir?
Yes?
Hello?
Yes, sir?
Wasn't coming in. It's not coming in.
Okay, all right.
Stop pausing.
Okay. All right, Ms. Herrick, if you can introduce yourself to Mr. Moore, did you have a question?
Can I talk to the attorney?
Oh, she's about to introduce herself to you.
Yes, sir.
You see Ms. Herrick there? With the glasses and the pink shirt?
Computer's messing up.
No, it's messing up.
I can't hear a thing.
Okay. Because I can hear you guys.
Yeah, I can too.
Ms. Herrick, am I coming in fine for you?
Yes, am I coming in okay for you?
Okay. Well, the grandpa is out in the hallway, so we'll wait for him to come back into the courtroom.
Your Honor, I'm not sure, but should we be recording this?
Yes, no, I made a finding under 5408 that the interests of the public or interests of the child would be better served. Thank you, though, for reminding me.
No problem, Your Honor. Thank you for explaining that.
Mr. Moore, do you have a question?
I'll talk to the attorney.
All right, now we're having internet problems, so I'm pausing everything. All right, Grandpa, can you hear me okay now?
Yeah, it's kind of messed up, but I hear you. Yeah. Can't see you, but I can hear you.
Okay, as long as you can hear me.
Yes, sir.
I can hear you the whole time. If you feel like you can't hear me, then please say something and I'll pause again.
Very good.
Mr. Moore, can you hear me?
Yes.
Okay, all right. So you do have a right to have an attorney. Ms. Herrick, your attorney, Ms. Barrows, is not here today. Ms. Herrick has been here substituting for her. Ms. Herrick, could you introduce yourself to Mr. Moore, please?
I'm Lisa Herrick.
You see her?
Moore.
Okay. All right.
Mr. Kim.
Judge Kim.
Your Honor. Yeah, Judge Kim.
Yes, sir.
Can I talk to Ms. Herrick, please?
No. I'm not stopping things for you. This isn't about you. This is the hearing to decide whether to keep you or not.
Yes, sir.
You do have a right to remain silent. If you give up that right, anything you say at a detention hearing cannot be used against you at any other type of court setting. All right, so Rodney, You and I are familiar with each other. You are 11 years old. Wait a minute. Yesterday was your birthday.
Yes, sir.
Now you're 12 years old. All right. So, well, happy birthday. I'm sorry you had to spend it here at our detention facility. And let's see. Mr. Spence, you're here, right? Okay. So, just to let you know. You know, I don't put this down, right? Mr. Moore?
It is.
Yes, sir.
You remember this one? You taking this picture?
Yes, sir.
Okay, I keep it here on my bench, just a reminder. Because, you know, once you put something on the internet, it doesn't come down. And then, all right, so you were here for, you're on probation for arson. And that is from 2019. And then we've had all kinds of problems. Most recently, I let you go. You come in and out. I've always let you go because you're so young. I mean, you're 11 years old, right? So I didn't want to keep an 11-year-old in here. But every time I let you out, you just cut off your electronic monitor, you come back. Yes, sir?
This time I cut it because I was on the phone with my.
Please
This
don't
is not
say
something
anything,
that you want
okay?
to talk about
Don't
right
say
now.
that right now.
Yes, sir. And yes, ma'am. Yes,
So, all right. So you keep on running away. We keep on getting you back in here, make you stay a couple days. You promised me you're not going to cut it off. I think you cried a couple times about coming back here. And then this last time we let you out. Mr. Spence, when was the last time we let him out?
Your Honor, he cut his monitor on 8/14 of this year and ran.
Okay, so about 6 weeks ago, cut off his monitor and ran, even though you promised me you wouldn't. All right, so now there is evidently a new charge that was filed rolling back to April. And that's the one where you shot the 1-year-old? Mr. Spence?
Yes, Your Honor, it is.
Like a 1-year-old baby?
Yes.
Okay. All right, so he's on probation for arson. He's accused of shooting a baby at 11 years old. And then we bring him back in. He's been on the run and he's smoking weed.
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay. Anything else I'm missing about him?
Nope, that's about it, Your Honor.
All right, Mr. Moore. Hey, look what I found. Right? I know 11-year-olds are supposed to have guns. Right? After they've been accused of shooting a baby. Right?
Yes, sir.
So, Mr. Moore, what should I do at this point? Like, where am I at?
This time I wasn't gonna cut, but like.
Don't say that, okay? Not right now. You're gonna want to talk to your attorney first.
Yes, ma'am. Well, I don't know, but I was trying to see, could you at least give me one more chance and then see if this time I mess up, you should like hold me for some months.
Yeah, but didn't you say that last time? You told me to hold you for a year last time if I mess up, didn't you?
I never said that. I don't remember.
What? Yeah, you told me that I can hold you next time. Give me one more chance. Actually, you said that two times. So, and remember, the last time I said, well, that's what you said last time. Why should I believe you this time?
All I was trying to do was go to my friend's funeral. And I asked Mr. Spence, and he said no. And then I missed JV and stuff because I was in here. And every time it hurt, every time I miss one of my friends' stuff, I tried to go to the funeral, and Mike didn't let me go because I didn't know my friend's last name. And then I just had to because I didn't want to more.
Rodney, I think Judge understands your point at this point, okay?
So they want guns at the funeral? Is that where you're trying to go?
No, that was a long time after the funeral.
Right?
Your Honor.
So you went to a funeral for a friend, but you don't know the friend's last name?
No, because we all go by our nicknames and everybody noticed. And then he said I couldn't go because I didn't know the last name. And that hurt. I missed so many events.
And your nickname is 30 Shots, right?
Yes, sir. I'm not gonna lie. Yes, sir.
Well, you're not gonna lie. You've lied to me before.
I'm just telling all the truth. It ain't nothing to lie. You know everything.
Ronnie, here's the problem. It's like, if you lie to me so many times, how do I know when you're lying? And how do I know when you're telling the truth?
Because I'm tell all the truth. Now, I'm not gonna lie. I promise to God right here to the man, I'm not gonna lie to you. Anything you ask me, I'm gonna tell you.
But remember when you raise your hand, promise to God that you're not gonna cut off your monitor?
I had to go to my homeboy funeral, and that's it. That was it. That's all I asked for time out for. I was never gonna cut it. I would have.
Hey, Rodney. Okay.
Ronnie,
Okay.
you told me you're not gonna lie.
No.
Ronnie, I'm really tired of you lying to me. I just said, I'm tired of, like, every time you come in here, you cry. You know that, right? Like, every single time you come in here, you cried. And every single time you've begged me for one more chance because you swear to God, on my mama's name, I'm not going to cut off the monitor. I'm not going to run off. Like, every single time.
I did my truth.
Right?
Yes, and then, but look, I'm not even lying. Only God knows, my papa knows, and Mr. Spence knows why I cut off that EM.
Yeah, what I can't figure out is why you're always lying to me, and every time you tell me that you're not going to lie. Grandpa, you remember those conversations, right?
Quite well, sir. Yes, sir.
Every single time he promised me, I swear to God. You know, God's got to be angry with you swearing to him so many times.
But Papa, why did I cut it? Why did
No, it's not about you cutting. I'm talking about why you're lying. That's what I'm talking about right now. Right? Like every time. I mean, here's the thing, right? The first time you came in here and you cried, like you were bawling, right? And you were crying, and I felt sorry for you because you're just this little kid that I thought was crying. And then now I'm realizing you just cry every single time. I don't think they're fake tears. I think you're really crying. But you cry every time. It's because you're a kid. You're 11 years old. I'm sorry. Now you're 12 years old, right? And that's my problem is I don't like little 11 and 12-year-olds here because you're just immature. I mean, you're a baby. And so now, but the thing is, Rodney, if you want to be treated like an adult, you do adult things, and then you're asking me to treat you like an adult. So I don't know why you cry so much. Right? I mean, you're going around pointing guns, and now you're accused of shooting a little kid. And then I know what's going on. I know what's going on over at Parks Mall. I know what's going on out on the street. Like, I know all this, right?
Yes, sir.
I understand you're just causing problems everywhere you go. But here's the thing, Rodney, right? I'm not going to let you go because I know you're going to go out there. You can handle more guns. Maybe somebody else gets shot, right? I know you can go out there. You're going to make more videos about Judge Kim, right? Because I've seen those too.
I never made another video about you. That was the only video.
Right? So, you know, this is one of those things. I know you can go out and you're going to do your thing and cause more problems. So here's the thing. You're not as tough as you think you are. All right? You're not as tough as you're trying to make yourself out to be. Right? You're not. I mean, you're just causing problems and you're making people pick sides. And the thing is, everyone that's picking a side is losing. They're all losing because you know what? They're picking a side over you, a kid that's just trying to milk the system. Right? You're just using everyone else around you, including your grandpa, including Mr. Spence, including me.
I don't use them. I don't got nothing.
You don't think you use your grandpa?
I don't use my papa.
Grandpa, how many times have you been evicted because of him?
About
how many times?
3-4 times.
Right?
I'm not using you.
I love you, son. I love you.
You don't listen to him. You don't follow his rules, right? And so he loves you.
Papa, so before I even cut that monitor, I was doing everything you asked me, right? Everything.
Yes, but you did cut the monitor because you wanted to go to the funeral. Agreed, but that's all over with. We're here at this point now. We got to deal with what you got to deal with. And you keep blaming Judge Kim, and that's why we are where we are now.
Your papa is a wise man. You know, he's here every single time you have a detention hearing. Every single time, right? Because he loves you and cares about you. But you're out there thinking that there's something better than the home that he's providing, right? Show him some gratitude. So anyways, you know, before I used to make a deal saying you get to level 1-0 and I'll let you out on the monitor again. At this point, I'm detaining you and I'm just going to figure out, we'll see how you do. I'm going to leave it open-ended. You may stay here till you're 19 years old. I haven't decided yet. All right. So we'll just see. We'll see how it goes. But either way, if you don't behave here, then I know you're not going to behave outside. What you may should do is get to your behavior level up. I'll release you. And then you go out and you just break the rules again. So, you know, you can only lie to somebody so many times before they stop trusting you. You'll find that with your friends too.
When will I see you again?
Oh, you'll see me every 5 days. I do this when you're 11 years old. I want to see you every 5 days just to make sure that we stay in communication with each other.
So I'll see you Monday.
Yeah, it'll be next Monday.
I love you, Rodney.
Papa, tell my mama I love her.
And I love you, and I will.
All right. Okay, so you're detained. Thank you.
Yes, sir.
Thank you, Your Honor.
All right, so I'm going to turn this over to so at this point, under 5408, the court will find that there's a presumption to close hearings for children under 14. And so I will close the hearing at this time because I cannot find that the interest of the public or the child would be better served by opening this hearing. Thank you, Judge Porter.
Thank you, Judge Kim. And we're going to give about 30 seconds before we bring in the next child, please. Judge Kim, if you will stop the live stream on YouTube.